All right. We are live.
All right, we are live.
How's it going,
Welcome
man?
everybody. Howdy, howdy. Um, welcome back everybody. I know
I
we don't
he-
got anybody in just yet.
I hear little Einsteins in the background.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my son is obsessed.
This is what I heard. I heard nothing, and then it was on a mission. Start the countdown.
Yeah, if you hear anything in the background, just it is what it is. I got a 2-year-old and he's obsessed with the Einsteins. Yeah,
Actually, I
that's his
forgot
new
to
thing.
ask you. Is he doing better?
He has the flu.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yes. But before we get into anything, I would like to say welcome back everybody. Welcome to Idiots Talking Candidly. Super sorry we are a day late, a dollar short, but it's totally okay. We will be picking back up on our normal routine. This is probably the only, hopefully the only Friday that we'll have to do the podcast. Our regular streaming hours will be Thursday, every other Thursday of the month. We will be posting or going live, excuse me, twice a month, and just look forward to that. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every other Thursday.
I'm surprised you know it's Eastern Standard Time because I always have to look up what time zone are we in.
Oh, no, like, yeah, I'm the same way, but I literally just talked to Nick about this yesterday because he was waiting for Walmart and GameStop were doing sales on the new Xbox One Series X.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Are we in Eastern? Are we in Eastern? We're at Eastern, right?" And I was like, "I think." And then he looked it up. He's like, "Yeah, we're Eastern Standard Time." He's like, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I gotta buy the new Xbox. And I'm just like, "Okay, dude, like, otherwise, I wouldn't have known, but because I know, I will use that knowledge to my benefit. We are 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every other Thursday. This Friday is like I said, hopefully a one-off chance. If we do have those sort of situations, we will, from now on, I think we should just tweet out and say, hey, podcast has been postponed
Yep.
tomorrow due to this, due to that.
Which I did
We
do
had
that, but
some.
I did it the day of, and I feel like since we knew in advance, we probably should have let people know beforehand. But that's okay.
It's okay. We
That's
have a small
besides the
enough
point.
audience. It's fine.
Our
Um,
topic today, I was gonna say I'll let you introduce the topic, but I just want to say like this is an interesting topic, and this might be one of our longer episodes. So hopefully that kind of makes it up for the fact that um, we're late today. So what are we talking about
yeah,
today?
conspiracy theories.
Get your tinfoil hats.
Yes, everyone get your tinfoil hats on. Everyone throw the bunny ears on the television. Tune in to the latest on conspiracy theories. I have some pretty bangers today, some pretty good bangers on conspiracy theories. If you want to introduce your first topic, that's fine. I have one loaded up and ready to go.
Yes,
Um,
and to make it more interesting too, if there's anybody in the chat right now that wants to, and we should probably reiterate this a couple of times. If you guys have any interesting conspiracies that you want us to try to talk about, um, just let us know, and we'll talk about them. Also, if you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, let me know down in the comments what conspiracies you would like to hear us talk about. Because come on, we're professionals. We know everything. Everything that we talk about on here, we know.
yes, the
So
birds work for the bourgeoisie.
the birds are not real.
Yeah.
um, so the first one that I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna give shout out to this guy on TikTok. So you know when you watch videos on TikTok, it's almost like YouTube. Like you get caught in the algorithm and they just start popping up on your recommended.
Yeah.
This dude, his name is Immortal Zen, and he doesn't even claim to be like a conspiracy theorist. He claims to be like a spiritually and socially woke person. He's a really cool person, really cool guy. You can tell he's got a lot of knowledge.
Hmm.
And he had made a couple of TikToks talking about the Anunnaki, and
Okay.
I kind of knew like a little bit about them, but
Aliens.
yes. So what are the Anunnaki? They're pretty much every ancient civilization that we have had. whether they've written things down in hieroglyphs or cave paintings or whatever it may be. They always depict people with like either elongated heads, animal heads, multiple arms, and they worshipped these people. They claimed that they were deities, gods, angels. Those are the Anunnaki. And
Yeah.
essentially, the conspiracy is that the Anunnaki aren't like actually spiritual beings, they're aliens. And it's an interesting conspiracy because you think about religion, right? These people looked up to these beings and decided to claim that they were gods. Um,
Hmm.
and in reality, they're just advanced human beings. That'd be like if me and you went back in time to like the 1700s and explained to somebody
Yeah.
what a smartphone was. They'd be like, "You're
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ," you know?
Yeah. You're the second coming or third coming or however. I wouldn't say that they're advanced. See, like I don't know if they're advanced human beings per se, but I would say like following the conspiracy, I would say they're more just like straight up fucking aliens. Like they come from the outlands of space and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what's up? We got technology. Let's build fucking pyramids." And you're just like, "Okay."
So that's one of the things that I was going to say too about the pyramids. So the pyramids, there was this conspiracy that I saw, and a lot of my first point is all going to be connected to like one entire thing. But the pyramids, they said it's actually like a power source, like a battery. So you
Yeah.
think we've all been taught that the pyramids in Cairo, Egypt, the Mayan pyramids, all these pyramids that are scattered around the world. We've been taught that they were like ancient burial grounds, tombs filled with treasures. It's where they buried their kings. Well, look it up. They've not found any kings buried actually inside of the pyramids. They've been buried in smaller pyramids outside of the bigger ones, but the bigger ones they found no um, royalty like bodies in there. And what's
Yeah.
interesting is you are legally not allowed to go in there unless you're like a are they like geologists and paleontologists,
Archaeologists.
archaeologists, that's the word.
Yeah.
Those people are the only ones that are allowed to go in there. Of course, unless you have like a pass or you're given the right to go in there. So it's interesting that we've been taught that these pyramids are like an ancient burial ground or whatever, and they're actually not. There was a dude, and he did an experiment. There was a massive chamber filled with water, like
Yeah.
directly in the middle of it, and everybody had just assumed that maybe it was like when a flood came in or it rained and the rain fell in there. But sounds like echoed super, super, super loud in this chamber. And so one of the conspiracies is actually I know I said it was like a power source, but that's the next one. One of the conspiracies is that this water chamber was actually kind of like a telephone. You could
Okay.
communicate to people in the other pyramids. I don't exactly remember how it was worded or how it worked, but the echo would like go through something that was buried underground and it stretched all the way to whatever other area that they were trying to communicate with. So it was essentially sending messages back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting thought. But it would be, I don't know, because like the Great Pyramids, or just the pyramids in general, like how far away would these other pyramids be per
See,
se? I mean,
I,
they've
I don't
found a
remember.
bunch,
I'm not
but
saying
like
that they're stretching like from the pyramid of Giza to like an ancient Mayan pyramid. It's nothing like
it would,
that. But it's
yeah,
definitely it reached like I couldn't even tell you. I don't have it pulled up and I don't have the facts, but they were saying that the way that your voice echoed in this chamber, right? It
yeah,
echoed to
yeah.
a certain frequency that was like you'd say hello and it would keep going and getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And so they're saying what they would do is when it gets a certain um like a certain decibel, they would
They'd
release
pipe it
it.
in, yeah. So like it was just a very very ancient form of like telecommunications,
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly. Which is really bizarre to think about.
Yeah, I mean like yeah, I would say that like that could be like one way to look at it, and it's always interesting I think to like look at like these you know, wonders of the world and be like, well, what the fuck were they there for? You know?
Yeah.
And old ass telephones is an interesting one. I haven't even heard, but yeah, it seems
Yeah,
legit, I guess.
so the other thing that's connected with the like the battery source, right? How it was used for power. Um and excuse me, I know these are all like kind of jumbled together, but this whole bulletin point really has to do with like the Anunnaki in general. So the way that the pyramids are like a power source is the Anunnaki were supposedly sent here to gather gold, right?
Yeah.
Earth has like well had an abundance of gold. They came here to mine it. They got tired of mining it, so they found, I don't remember if it was they found us or they like mated with us and created hybrids. But then we started mining the gold for them. And that's why all these ancient civilizations, when they had some gold, they're like, oh, we're royalty. These beings wanted gold, so we want gold too. It looks cool, it looks fancy. Dude, gold is just a rock, right? Diamonds
Yeah.
and jewels are literally just rocks made certain ways. Um, but the way that it's like a powerhouse, right? Is where is it located? Do you know where it's located? Its coordinates are the
Oh
dead
yeah, I heard this.
center of the true north, right? Like it's dead
Yeah.
center pointing towards true north. And its coordinates are the speed of light.
Yep. Yeah, I heard about that one. Like
You're
to the
telling me
decimal.
that some ancient civilization just happened to build a pyramid that was pointing true north, and its geographical location is fucking the speed of light.
See, that is like a lottery winning chance. But I mean, it's still a chance. People do win the lottery.
That is
People
true.
do, build wonders on the exact coordinates of a fucking,
That is true.
and I don't mean to be like the devil's advocate guy.
No, go
That's
ahead.
especially not what I'm trying to be. But like, do I think that there was like some things afoot, like some suspicions, like on like how they built these pyramids? I think so, and I don't know if I personally believe the entire conspiracy that it's like, oh, like aliens did this, aliens did that. Now, maybe I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words like what I'm trying to say, but what I'm getting at is that like I think that like the conspiracy is saying that like it's the aliens are the ones that made it like the speed of light and the ones that
Sure.
helped them make the coordinates for like the true north and all of that. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I do see it like as because if have you ever seen a picture of what the pyramids did look like back in the day?
No, I've not. I didn't know that they
You
looked
haven't?
different.
Yeah, so okay. So the top of the pyramid is made out of different material than like the base of the pyramid.
Right, like the
The
base is
pyramid
like limestone, right?
limestone and yes, and the top is like some other like um iridescent material. Over time, it all just eroded and became one singular color. But the bottom was like a yellow and the top was like a pearl white. And they
Whoa.
looked like fucking antennas. Like they looked like a fucking yeah.
Communication.
So like your battery thing kind of like struck a chord with me because I'm like that would make sense. I don't know if they purposefully did it to where it's like speed of light, like true north. Maybe the true north thing for like a magnetic kind of reason. Like
Like
if you haven't
magnetic
seen true north,
polarity or something.
yeah. So like you're in like a certain area where like that sort of thing is like could be the strongest. So the aliens were like, okay, this makes sense to create a power source here with the materials that they have.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy. I didn't know that the pyramids used to look like that.
yeah. Here I can. I'll show you later. I'll show you later.
Okay.
But yeah,
That
they
sounds
they had like
interesting.
a
I didn't
white
know that.
top, and the bottom was like a golden yellow. They
Jesus,
looked a
dude.
lot fucking cooler
See,
back in the day.
my whole problem with the fact that people argue, well, the humans could have built it, right? They might have had the technology back in the day and it might have gotten lost. Yes and no, because we don't have the technology today to recreate those pyramids the way that they did. right? You know that the bricks that are piled on top of each other are so precise. In some places, you can barely fit a piece of paper through the gaps.
I mean, have you seen the Bass Pro Shops in like, fucking Nashville, dude? That's a pyramid, and that pyramid's perfect. Okay, if you're an American, you will say yes. But no, I get what you're saying, like how it's like so precise and like
Yeah.
how it's cut.
They might have been architectural geniuses, right? Like, you know how you see the
I mean,
Greeks, like, fucking carving. I don't even know what the fuck it was, the statue of David out of marble or something like that. Maybe they were just artists,
well, yeah, yeah,
artisans.
yeah, yeah. Well, just a caveat, just like like a sidebar here.
Yeah.
Did you know that the statue of David and all of the marble statues back in the day were painted and had like exquisite detail and looked like the person to life?
No?
And erosion is what took away the fucking paint.
I will tell you this, and I hope that you don't know this. Did you know that all of them were painted with massive, or they were carved, sorry, with massive wieners? And back in the day, massive wieners meant that you were evil, and tiny wieners meant that you were good. And so
Yeah,
they went up to all the good people and carved off the dicks and made them smaller if you were like a hero or a champion.
yeah, 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 yeah. And also, like tiny wieners were like in Greek history were considered like a sign of like intelligence, whereas like a
Yeah,
big dick was like meaning you were like a brute
because you don't got
or
a
like
big head, but you got a
a
big head.
barbarian. Yeah. So yeah. No, I've heard that. But no, yeah, they were painted. That's insane to me that like at one point they were all
Nick
had
wants
a
a little
coat of
pee pee.
paint on them. Well, you have a small PP and I mean a big PP, and it makes sense you have a big PP because you're a
So
brute, but a skinny brute.
So here's the a couple other things I wanted to say about the Anunnaki too, and then we can get on with your points. So I don't know if you've ever seen like I don't know what you'd call them, like sculptures or like hieroglyphs. I guess everything that's like a written language would be considered like a hieroglyph, right? When
Yeah,
you see hieroglyphs of these deities that they worshipped, right? They're
yeah,
typically carrying one or all three of these things. They're either carrying the Anku, I believe that's how it's pronounced, which is like
yeah.
that
It's a
little
little thing,
symbol that's
a circle and a cross like
yeah,
combined.
it's oh man, it's Egyptian for life.
Yeah.
They have a little, I don't know what it is. It looks like a little Gucci bag, and I call it the Gucci bag. They're holding like a little handbag. And the final one is like a pine cone, right?
Yeah.
And what's interesting, I have to pull up my notes for this because I'm ill prepared. What's interesting, sir, is that the pine cone apparently is. What is it? What is it? What is it? Pineal gland. Thank you. I don't need this anymore. There's no way I was going to remember that name. The pine cone, a lot of people say symbolizes the pineal gland. Do you know where your pineal gland is? Pineal gland? Pineal gland?
Isn't that like
Yeah.
somewhere back here?
It's in your head. And it's essentially, it's considered your third eye, which if you're like into chakras and things like that, it's the spirituality, right? It's your religious part. And so people say whenever people are like socially woke, like when Jeremy and Stefan wore those necklaces, those are supposed
Yeah.
to like enhance your pineal gland. I don't know how to pronounce it. Pineal
Pineal
gland.
gland.
It's supposed to enhance this gland. And these ancient deities had actually. People are assuming that the pine cone things that are in their hand are these pineal glands. And it's what they use to communicate with each other. Because you think of when aliens talk, a lot of the time they don't open their mouths to talk, they speak to you through their mind, right?
Yeah.
So people are suggesting that that is it. However, I don't know if you know this, but have you ever heard of like conspiracies about people drinking water and there's like fluoride in the water?
Well, there is fluoride in the water, but
Yeah,
yes.
and it's not good because do you know what fluoride does to your pineal gland? It
I know it makes
calcifies
your
it.
teeth white.
It calcifies your pineal gland. Look it up.
It actually does.
Too much fluoride will calcify your pineal gland. So the conspiracy here is that they are feeding us fluoride, and it is now locking and containing our third eye chakras, so we cannot communicate to these other beings. That's a big oof. That's a big fucking. That's a big conspiracy right
The
there.
big. That's one way to fucking say it. If that's like a thing, then that I think it's bigger than a big oof. That's a fucking.
And so, like I said, if you're a person that believes in these chakras, right? You've got like I think 7 or 8 of them. It's like one in your head, one in your the back of your head, your
Hmm.
throat, stomach, stuff like that. And it's crazy to think because if you someone is like immortal Zen, right, and he claims to be like socially, spiritually awakened, he
Yeah.
claims to have access to things that we don't, and can see things and feel vibes, which I know like vibe check is like a meme, but it's like seriously a thing. Like, when you get a gut feeling and you're like something's not right, that's
Yeah.
essentially your chakras and your feelings telling you, hey, man, something's not right, or hey, listen, something good's about to happen. And so when you drink this water, it's locking all these glands up. Now, I don't know if it affects all of them or if it's just the pineal gland, but yeah, that's a crazy ass conspiracy right there. My mind blew up when I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what?
I mean, if that's like the case, like that's where like all your chakra and shit and the like your third eye is, then I would see why they would give you fluoride to stop you from talking to these people.
Right. And it's like when
That's
people
fucked
take
up.
like Joe Rogan when he takes DMT and he claims to like talk to aliens. It's the same thing, you know?
That reminds me of a meme that I seen where it was like God and like another person just like talking like up in heaven, and all of a sudden like Joe Rogan like showed up out of nowhere, and he was just like rambling and like saying like incoherent sentences and shit, and God was like, "Don't worry, he's super high right now. He'll be going back down soon." It's like, what the fuck?
So I'm almost done with my long ass conspiracy here because I'm combining all these together, okay? So the other thing is when you think about the world religions, right? You think all of these places that had never had contact together, right? All of these
Hmm.
religions, you have a religion that starts here, starts there, starts there, starts there. They all, for the most part, pretty much have like the same be kind to others, worship me, etc., right?
Yeah.
You look at the pyramids, they're all kind of the same. Yes, Kelsey, sorry, she distracted me. Alex Jones is what she's referencing.
Oh, we need Alex Jones on
They're turning the
as
friggin'
soundboard.
frogs gay.
Yes.
um, but you have like I said, the pyramids everywhere, and these civilizations have had no contact with each other. How would they
Yeah.
form the same ideas and the same opinions? Why would they have the same hieroglyphs and the same drawings? Because you have
Hmm.
the same beings. Over in Egypt, it might be the people with the hawk heads carrying the pineal gland and the Gucci bag. Over in fucking Mexico, which is a continent away over where the Mayans were, you might have a normal human with an elongated head carrying a pineal gland and a Gucci bag. So it's you have to think maybe these aliens went to different places, and
Yeah.
they didn't just affect the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Incans, the Aztecs. They've affected all of us, and so you can kind of boil down religion to that. People believed in these gods. They were shown angels. That's what they called them. The
Yeah.
angels came down from above and helped us. They were flying away. They had wings. Well, they didn't have angel wings. Wings is metaphorical for flying. They got in fucking metal saucers and flew away. One last thing, and then I promise this Anunnaki nonsense is over. But like, this thing just keeps getting deeper and deeper. So you think I blew your mind with the fluoride stuff? So do you watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the newer episodes? Well, it's not really the newer episodes, but it's like part of that one season where the Intergalactic Republic comes in
Is that the one that like? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that one because that's the one where they like took over like Earth and shit.
and changed their currency, changed their
See the
laws.
zero. Yeah.
Yes. So this conspiracy so how it works is we've gained a lot of technology over the past so many
Mhm.
years, and I think we brushed up upon this an episode or two ago about how technology is just kind of like expanded over the past 60 years at an alarming rapid rate.
Yeah.
And so the thing is they give us technology if we give them samples of humans to work on. I know that sounds crazy, and I know you're like, okay, where's your evidence to back this up, right?
Yeah.
There's all types of subliminal messaging in the media, in TV shows. It doesn't even have to be politics or news. You can just talk about TV shows and cartoons, for instance.
Yeah.
Um, how many times have you seen like a Simpsons or Family Guy episode and the government is fucking like a reptilian, right?
Yeah.
Their skin is shedding and it's reptilian, or they're talking about the moon landings being faked, or they're talking about there's even like an old movie that came out in like the 60s or 70s, and it was of this guy who got glasses on, and when he put them on he could see everybody for who they truly were, and there's like lizard people walking along the earth.
Hmm.
So I know that was a ramble, but the conspiracy with this stuff is they are legally so the not the United States, rather Earth is known to other planets, and they are legally required by like intergalactic law to tell us the truth. They have to tell us that there's aliens out there. They have to let us know, but they do so in the form of comedy, children's TV shows, XYZ, and it's up to us to believe them or not. They're legally required to tell us. They tell us. They just tell us
Hmm.
in funny ways, and 95% of the population is like, "Oh, that's funny. I never, you know, insert X politician here as a lizard, or insert this movie star right here as a fucking gray alien." And we're laughing about it, and the government's like, okay, well, we told them. You can see the proof. They think that we've told them that you guys have infiltrated, our society. So it's just like weird to think about,
That is really fucking weird. It's
like
like, oh, we
why
have to tell them, but we'll do it
why
in a roundabout
else
way.
would they make jokes about the shit? Why else would they make jokes about MK Ultra and make jokes about it just doesn't make any sense, right? There's
Well,
no reason.
I think that the reason why they make those sort of jokes is because like there are those like lunatics out there that like I wouldn't say lunatics because like some of them like have like make a lot of sense, But they're like the serious tinfoil hat ones that are just like, let me brandish my tinfoil hat so they can't hack my brain.
Right.
Um,
Oh God.
I think they're poking fun at like those guys. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
haha. Like you think that there's like when people were talking about like how like Obama was like a lizard. It was like a meme,
Yeah.
right? Like how like him and then like his wife, they're like lizard people, and that like they're trying to get us like into the new world order, and we're all gonna have like the devil's mark on our arm, and that's
The
how we'll get
chip
like
in your
food and
arm.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Everyone was talking about that. Well,
Yeah.
everyone was talking about that. Like, although like a lot of people were like memeing on it and like joking about it, there's a lot of people that were serious, and I think that's like a lot of comedy shows might have picked it up and would be like, "This is funny right now. Let's make
Or
fun of this."
or
Or yeah, you're right.
they
Or
were
it's
telling us
aliens.
that Obama was a fucking lizard because they're
They're like,
legally required
huh.
to, and it's for up to. By the way, just
I
for
mean,
the record, just because we're talking about these conspiracies does not mean that we necessarily believe in them. Now, with that
no,
being
yeah, yeah, yeah.
said, if you don't think that fucking Obama is an alien, I'm just
Gonna fucking shoot you.
okay. All
But
right. So what's a conspiracy that you have for me? And I know yours are probably not going to be as long as mine, but that was like 17 conspiracies congealed into one.
Okay, so one of mine is like, so I was like trying to think of like bigger conspiracies that I've like heard. So like I know with you, you'll like set up and like in the wee hours of the night watching like 2 hour long fucking conspiracy docus,
I wish
and I
people would sit up and watch those with me. I wish that it was like it was back in high school where me and Jeremy would just sit down and watch fucking videos like that for hours.
yeah,
Such good
well,
times,
I mean,
man.
I know, and like I wish I did that too, but like I my brain's like turned to mush as of late, so I'm just like, haha, funny video, click, and that's all I do.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, dude, S pretty fucking much. Just scroll through TikToks until 1 in the morning. Um, but no, the first one that I would was wanting to talk about relates back to yours, surprisingly enough. Talking about Area 51 and
Hey.
how, like, I know people are like, is that a conspiracy? But yeah, it is because people think that they have aliens.
Sure.
Either it's like a place where they communicate with aliens, either it's a place that they have captured aliens, or they have live or dead specimens of aliens. Anything like that, people are like, we think they have them. And that's a conspiracy in itself. And there's like proof behind it, right? So, like,
Sure. What was the guy's name?
that
Bob Lazar? Didn't he work at
Bob
Area
Lazar,
51?
I don't remember his name, but there was a guy who like outed all of them and he only did it because he was about to die. Yeah.
I
I,
think it was him because sorry to interrupt, but if I remember correctly, Bob Lazar worked for Area 51,
and he
and
was like 80, right?
well, he's like 80 now.
Yeah. And he like
And
kept revealing, he did
he
like a
came out
whole,
and said a bunch of stuff because the government was threatening his life, and he's like, "Look, if I say something now it's going to look suspicious if I die from a stroke or a fucking car crash." So, yeah, I
yeah.
think that's who you're talking about. Anyways, continue, sorry.
So yeah, like a lot of people have talked about it, and there's a lot of people who've come out, like Bob Lazar, and said that they worked at Area 51 and they know the facts and they know the truth. I don't know if Bob Lazar is the guy that I was thinking of because there was a guy who like finally came out and talked about stuff. He was like a guard at
Okay.
Area 51, and I think he was part of the NG, the National Guard. I don't remember the explicit details, but he talked about it. He talked about like aliens and like how they had like a strange like ship in one of their hangars that was like alien. It was a UFO. Like there's no other way to like beat around the bush. But like on top of that, like the amount of unidentified objects or unidentified flying objects, UFOs, sighted in that area is like hundreds of times more than like any other place. Now you could say, and a lot of people say, that only happens because that place is thought to have aliens around it. So people are like, "Oh, is that an alien spaceship?" And it's just like a fucking Boeing
Sure.
747 flying by. You could say that, but like footage has shown and like stuff like that, a UFO. Now, yeah, I know you can doctor footage, but has shown like weird shit happening over there at Area 51. Some bizarre shit. And then there's people that are out there that have said that they've been abducted by aliens from Area 51. They're like, oh yeah. There's I've experienced of the, is it the fifth kind or is it fourth kind where you get abducted, or is that third kind? I don't remember.
You got
But
me.
um, no, yeah. So, but just a lot of like strange shit that happens there, and
Do you think that maybe Area 51 has become like a joke so much, and the reason why the government has not came out and said anything is because they want people to, because there's like an Area 52, and the Area 52 is where the aliens are at, and Area 51 has just become so mainstream for having aliens. They're like, yeah, sure, think that the aliens are all right there, because in reality, they're over here. That could be a
I
possibility.
mean, yeah, that is a possibility. Now, like, I know that there is some suspicious shit going on there. Is it aliens? I mean, probably. Like, it's
Yes.
something from outer space, or like the more likely thing that a lot of other people conspiracize about Area 51 is its weaponry. So Area 51 is an Air Force base,
Yep.
correct? People see UFOs and they're like, "Oh, it's not us. It's just a weather balloon or
Sweaty
whatever."
as hell.
Now now they say like that sort of thing about aliens. But what if they're saying that sort of thing about weaponry because they don't want like, I don't know, the Russians or like any of our other enemies knowing
Or
about like
maybe
top
like a
secret weaponry?
higher stockpile of nuclear weapons that they don't want us to know about.
Well, no doubt, but like I'm thinking because it's an Air Force base. Area 51 is, right? It's an Air Force base. They have Air Force people stationed there. They have several hangars and like long stretches of land where they can take off
Ooh, excuse me.
crafts. You know, they've seen stealth bombers flying
I
around
hate you,
there.
Kelsey.
What'd she say? I don't even know what she said. Hold on.
Making
Hold on.
fun of me for being a sweaty boy.
Sweaty boy. Yeah,
I
okay.
I visited Area 51 when I went to Vegas, and that was a cool time.
Yes, it is neat. And I'll touch on that later, the culture around it, because it's developed a culture.
Yeah.
So, um, I think that either it's one, aliens, or two, they have like some crazy ass shit. Like they have like a airplane that can go like 15 times the speed of sound, or they have like a cloaking device where you can like literally not see the ship flying above, and the only thing that's visible is like its lights.
But
Or
how do you think they got this technology?
see, that's the thing, and that's like where a lot of people are like aliens. But then again, like we have like a lot of tech that can mimic that sort of thing. Like if you had um like a reflective bottom side on like an airplane, okay, it would just reflect the ground. I guess that wouldn't work.
So you'd
However
be
it works,
seeing
they
the
have like,
road up in the sky. Oh, that's
I mean, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm trying to make it make sense. Okay, so like you can use current technology because they have something like that right now where you could like put like a blanket on and it just kind of like fades you in, right? Have you seen that shit online? I think it might be a hoax video. I don't know, but it's like a cloaking fucking
like
like
the thing from
invisibility
Harry
cloak.
Potter. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I'm sure they have technology like that where, for example, the backup cameras on the back of like a F-150, right? Like a 2021 F-150, how it shows like through your trailer. You know what I'm talking about? It like shows through your trailer because they could use like satellite mapping to like project an image of the road behind you.
What the fuck?
You didn't know that? It like
No.
completely cloaks the trailer. Use that same imagery, have like a display on the bottom of an airplane, and do that same shit where it just shows through the airplane. You can't fucking see the airplane. Like maybe that's the sort of tech that they're hiding
I
from
mean,
us.
maybe that's
I know it's
that's
a
kind of
fetch.
interesting.
I know it's like far fetched, right? Aliens at that point seem more likely, but that's just an
You never really
example of
know.
something that they could have, right? So whatever it is, they developed a culture. I was going to touch on that, and I think this is like the only conspiracy that I can think of, other than like a sea monster conspiracy that you get from like a town like Loch Ness or whatever. I don't know
Yeah.
if you consider that a conspiracy or not. But like I think this is the only place that's developed a conspiracy so like deep and ingrained in the culture that it's built like like a I don't know what to call it, like a I guess culture. Like the area has built a culture about aliens so much so that it has like tourism
Made it like a
and stuff.
novelty, right?
Yeah, it's like a novelty to go there now, even though like the idea of that conspiracy is like kind of horrifying
And the
on one
fact that
end of
it's
the aspect.
literally like dangerous to go there. When me and my dad went there,
Yeah,
armed guards pointing snipers at you, there's a fucking minefield and shit.
exactly. So it's like that level of like threat. It's still built such a, like a touristy place where you can go and like the gas station down the fucking road, you can buy like a shitload of alien bobbleheads
Yeah.
or like alien jerky or like all this stuff. And then there's like food marts that sell like alien themed stuff. You can buy alien themed shirts, alien themed hoodies, whatever. And it's just I think it's very interesting that they have like a conspiracy that has like had such an impact that it's done something like that because of like how like legitimate it can sound if you really think about it. It's just had such an impact.
Yeah. No, that makes sense completely. Yeah. That's crazy.
But that's all I really got in the first conspiracy. I mean, if you want me to go into my second one, since you only have a few and I have like 4 or 5,
I mean,
I
yeah.
can.
So I can just add on to some of yours, like how I was saying with the fact that Area 51, you could say, right? You could say that Area 51 is just a, I don't know what you would call it. Like, damn, now you've got me tongue twisted.
Sorry. Yeah. I
So
wasn't prepared, so I was just off the dome on half of that.
so you were saying that we have these technologies and it's an Air Force base, there's nothing to worry about it. My only argument with that is, yeah, we might have the technology for it, but why keep it that secretive? Why haven't they released anything like that? Why did it upgrade so fast? Why do we gain this technology like instantaneously and it's just gotten, because you think about it, like we were stuck in the Stone Age for what, thousands, millions of
Ever.
years? We were stuck in the
Ever.
Bronze Age for, I know, at least hundreds of years. You're telling me we go from fucking basic ass machine guns, right? Talking
Yeah.
1920s, right? Because
Yeah.
that's roughly when the Roswell incident happened. We go from basic ass machine guns and like radios to a device where I can literally see you as I'm talking to you. I'm literally talking to
This.
you. This literally right
This.
here, but
Hi.
in a form factor that can go in your pocket.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up. And the fact that Elon Musk is doing all this shit, I love Elon to death. How he's wanting to like take us to the fucking to Mars, build a civilization there. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that's stuff that like our parents were like talking about and like making jokes about. Like, oh, what if we lived on Mars? That's stuff that we would talk about. What if we lived on Mars? Now it's happening.
Yeah.
You're telling me
Now it's like a
they couldn't have
reality.
done the same shit like 20, 30 years ago? You're telling me we just, I don't know, man.
Now, I
I don't
do
know.
want to like so I do want to rebuttal and hear my rebuttal, okay?
I'll hear it, but I won't like it.
Yeah. So you're saying that like it's an alien like progression. Okay. Now, it's me playing devil's advocate again, and I hate doing that, but I want you to like let this, pick your brain for a second.
Okay.
What if it's the deconstruction of religion? So, hear me out. Back in the day, we were like in the Stone Age for so long, correct? If you found out how to cure somebody of an ailment using like a mixture of plants, right? You could be deemed a witch and you were promptly killed. So they were like, no, no, no. If you found out math, okay, like simple math, found out like an algorithm that could help you solve how to make, a structure more fortified using a certain amount of wood in certain areas, whatever. If you
Sure.
discovered that, you can be deemed a witch and burned at the stake, right? If you were an astronomer and you gazed upon the stars and you built an object to use to like see the moon and stuff like that, people will say it's fake. You're a pagan. We're going to kill you. That, and then promptly thereafter, if you think about the era, like in the late 1800s, mid 1800s, late 1700s, when they were just straight fucking people up for doing similar shit, but it was more along the lines of like, I don't want to say that it's like all just based like you had to like base your life out of devout Christianity, but if you think about it, I don't mean to take a stab at religion because I am not like super religious, but I have religious beliefs. Okay. But back then, historical religion, I would say was a lot more strict on what you're allowed to believe and what you're allowed to think. Now that, like, if as a Christian, right, you can't just straight up murder somebody because they believe in evolution. Like, now that we
But
have
back in the day, you
free,
could.
yeah. If you were like, I believe in evolution, you could be like, fuck you, here's my knife. You're getting stabbed.
So
No one's gonna care about you anymore.
I understand. Like, that's like a popular meme that I've seen where it's like our civilization now, our civilization without religion, and it's like all futuristic flying cars and stuff. Sure, you could probably chalk it up to that. But my question here is, we didn't get like super unreligious until at least the 70s and 80s. And we were still
Yes.
having advanced technological enhancements starting from the 20s.
Well, yeah.
Granted,
Yeah.
you can argue that it's gotten a hell of a lot better since the 70s until now, but it's like the same improvement from the 20s to the 70s. So it kind of like cancels out the whole religion thing, at least in
That's
my
what I'm
book.
saying. I'm only playing devil's advocate, but I do think a lot of our technological advancements are like allowed because scientists that do not believe in religion are allowed to like work on what they do believe in without fear of persecution.
Sure.
Whereas back in the day they would be heavily persecuted, probably towards death penalty. And that's like it's funny thinking about it, but like seriously, people were burned at the fucking stake. Salem witch trials, proof right there. They were
Yep.
probably just people practicing modern medicine, and they got fucked up because they
Or
were
they were
doing
practicing
some weird shit.
necromancy, trying to become a lich.
I mean, yeah, but their names aren't Nick Taylor, so name dropping. Sorry, not sorry.
All right. Do you want to say another one, or you want me to go on to my next one?
Um, Think it'd be possible to take a potty break. I've just drank 2 beers and I gotta pee.
Yep. Go ahead. I'll keep chat entertained. Don't worry. I'm used to this.
I love you.
All right.
It'll be like 2 seconds. I swear to God.
I'm gonna tell you guys a joke. Okay. This is joke time while this Farquhar takes a pee break. Okay. So, a man walks into a bar, right? Just like your average bar. He walks into it and he says, ouch. Got him. Oh man, I'm so funny. Look at your link. Invisible cloak revealed. I'm gonna play this on the dooba-dooba-doo. It's gonna look glitchy for a second, but boop. Okay, hopefully that looks fine. I have no idea to see if this looks okay, but actually, before I continue with this, since I'm kind of silly when it comes to this stuff, does that look okay, Kelsey? Bad? Oh, I think maybe you're talking about my joke. I think she knows what I think it's okay. Okay, sorry. Dallas does not know how to technology. I did a bad job at keeping these people preoccupied.
Are you fact checking me right now?
And Kelsey sent it to me, and I did a horrible job at keeping everybody occupied. I told a joke.
That's okay. That's okay.
So
I love you and thank you.
I don't know if you can see this on the stream, because like I'm
Yes.
only working with 2 monitors right now. Does it look
I have
okay?
stream up here now.
Okay.
It's blocking the bottom half of your face, but
That's
I
fine.
think it's okay.
Okay. I, yeah, I was gonna say that.
Now, would
That's
using
100% a green screen, right? Like,
yeah. So what he probably did is he took like a still image of like the background, like right before, and then green
mm-hmm.
screened it in after. But there's similar technology out there that does the same thing, but
Because
it's like
look, yeah,
not.
because the bag disappears when he shakes it. The bag isn't back there because it wasn't a part of the still image.
Yeah.
Sky's also a little bit more blue.
I mean, it's good editing.
That's better than what I can do. I can tell you that.
I mean, it's okay. It's like average editing now I think about it because it's just a green screen. But you know, it is what it is. No, that was that threw me for a loop. And sorry, I had to pee. I've just drank 2 beers and I have my
Shame on you,
Wawa right
showing up
here.
to work drunk.
Listen, bub, this is my fucking hobby. I love being here. Don't fucking call it work. It's not work.
Yeah,
You
who would
love
drink
it.
alcohol on the clock?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about my next point just because I literally have like not a lot written down. Even though this is something that I wanted to talk about, I'm a
Yeah.
bad host. Um, so first of all, as I pick my eye,
Yeah.
disgusting. I want to know everybody's opinion, whether this is
Okay.
on YouTube or whether this is on Twitch, and I want to hear your opinion too, Marcus. Do you think the moon landings were faked?
No.
You don't?
No.
I want to know why you chose your answer.
Okay. So here's my thing. The moon landing.
Wrong.
Stop. The moon landing. The train that they were on, and then like how they did it, was so like realistic for the time. That's hard to replicate that. First, secondly, at this point, NASA has no reason to reveal if it was fake or not when we most definitely, most obviously have the technology just go out there and do it again anyway. You know what I mean? So keeping that sort of thing fake would only be viable if we were still dealing with like the Red Scare, right? And we're not. What is that?
It says the moon landings were faked. They used CGI. CGI in 1970.
Yeah, exactly. Like so
Oh
it
god.
looks really bad. And you could argue that they were like on like a tether or something and that's how they were bouncing around, but the way they did it and how often they did it would require like a lot of just like effort and editing would look so obvious. And
So
if you've seen like what people look like flying around in like the 70s, like in like a movie or something,
yeah.
you could see the fucking rope, right?
So that's what I was gonna say is if you watch some of these moon landing videos, you can see their suit kind of like get pushed up a little bit as they jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of those shots, like it's like almost like somebody like they got a rope around them and it's pulling them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, my favorite thing to talk about because I know what people argue, it's the fact that the moon the videos don't show any stars at all in the sky.
Yeah.
Go back and look at all of the clips and all the images. Look up right now. If you're watching this, I want you to go and look up moon landing footage and tell me why the fuck the background is black. Now, I'm going to make the devil's advocate argument and say, well, it's the lens flare, right? the lenses were made to push away, excuse me, those bright lights, right? Okay, that makes sense. Um, except you're wrong. Why could you take a photo with a video camera from Earth and get the same stars? Why do the astronauts in the ISS that have more advanced cell phones and videography equipment, can they take a photo outside of their ISS window and it picks up stars? Why can a rover that's on Mars sending us videos back see the stars? But there's no stars on the moon landing video.
I can tell you why.
Why?
It was in black and white.
Okay, okay, so it was in black and white, yes. Stars would become white.
The amount of pixels that were like, so the density of the blackness of space compared to the amount of pixels that they were working with on the camera and the footage that they did on the moon deafened out the stars. Okay? Because there's a lot of noise in the pixels.
Sure.
Am I right? So, like, if you have an older camera, you have a lot of noise, it's fuzzy. Okay? So each pixel is fuzzy. There's a lot more black pixels than white pixels, and those white pixels are so small the black pixels overtake them, so you will never ever see
why
stars
could
if you're
you
working with their cameras.
see the nighttime sky from movies shot before then from Earth?
I've never seen one movie or one clip from a movie that was taken in that time period that looked like it had realistic looking fucking stars.
Look, my whole thing is that just don't make sense.
What do you do? Like, you can see in my camera, because of low light, it's got fuzzy, right?
Sure.
Now, this is a 1080p camera, so you're going to get all the colors and hues. If I look behind me, I can see hints of green. Can you? No, because you can't see the hints of green from my LED, but I can because my eyes see in a higher definition than this does, and I can see more pixels than this does, right? So, and I also don't have fuzzy. Fuzzy, like, fucks with the pixels, right?
So I guess that would make sense to an extent. You can argue, like I said, the lens flare, or the pixels getting all blurred together. But have you seen a picture of the night sky without like the fucking smog and like the bad shit that's on Earth? There's millions of stars out there. There's like a cluster that looks like nothing but a bright ass fucking white ball. And you're telling me that that gets filtered over? I just, I don't know. And to go with that, if we have gone to the moon, why haven't we gone back? Why are they saying that they've said that they've lost the technology to go back? That was their excuse. We don't have the technology to go back. It got lost. But here we are about to send people to Mars. You're telling me Mars is easier to fucking reach than the moon? I don't think so, Paco. They use the moon to get to Mars. You launch to the moon, get in its orbit, and take off.
I know how it works. They use centrifugal force.
Yeah.
Or centripetal force. No. So, hold on. They didn't lose the technology. It's a money sink, right? So they spent so much money getting to the moon, right?
Okay.
They can build something that's hella safer and hella a lot more likely to get you to the moon now, but that would cost a lot of fucking money that NASA doesn't have. Elon, on the other hand, getting to the moon is not his fucking goal. He can get to Mars.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to get to Mars. He's not going to use the moon as a stepping stone because we've already done it. Right? He's going to be like, all right, I'm going to make it possible for us to fly to the moon. My fucking camera will focus. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm right here. Hi, hi. There we go. Um, and he wants to go to Mars.
Sure.
NASA's just here right now, right? I do want to talk about some important stuff that actually gets me into a conspiracy. If you want to use this as a segue, I can skip a couple into this one because this one is freaky as fuck, and I think you'll like it.
Is it the dark side of the moon?
No.
No.
So this conspiracy is called global extinction.
Bum bum bum. I know about this one.
So, um, NASA and other space organizations such as SpaceX
Hmm.
are so desperate to go to Mars because in the near future there is going to be a catastrophic event that would result in Earth's destruction or human extinction that is not stoppable by humans.
It's a big asteroid, isn't it?
It could be a plethora of things: an asteroid, a solar flare, any of these things that would cause like either our atmosphere to evaporate, an asteroid to strike and kill us, or like global warming and our ozone layer peeling away and us
So
suffocating and dying on
here's
Earth.
my question: if an asteroid's coming, why don't we just do what they did on that Naruto Shippuden movie?
Because we don't know ninjutsu, bro. Fucking duh. I mean, some of us do, but not all of us are cool like that.
That's
Not all of us
crazy.
Naruto run.
Cause I thought that we were going to Mars to get away from like the global warming. Because global warming is going to kill us, overpopulation is going to kill us. I thought we were
Let's
expanding
expand.
so we have like a
That's
second
certain.
body to exist on.
That's certain. But it's a lot of small details, like, and this is like a small time conspiracy. I read it on Reddit, but one of the things about the conspiracy is that like if you look at the trends in terms of like television shows and popular media and people that might be in the know, because those would be the people that can afford to fly off to Mars,
Sure.
and NASA is informing them saying, hey, we're going to take you to Mars, you guys will be fine, but these other people, those people in the popular media are making shows like post-apocalyptic, Mad Max, um making history shows called like something like After Humans, and those shows are like so popular right now and so prevalent, and you can find any given time of the day a show that talks about the apocalypse, the end of Earth. Whereas in the past, talks of that nature weren't exactly like in popular media. It was more of like,
So you're saying that these people know about this catastrophic event and they're making these TV shows, right? Is that what I'm
yeah, like,
understanding?
yeah,
Because
they
you
do because
just
it's like
opened
what they
up
know.
another fucking conspiracy that I have about that. Have you
What?
have you seen all the stuff going on about like the zombie apocalypse preparedness?
I haven't,
The
to be honest with you.
so the CDC like a long time ago, like 2011, 2010, released a zombie preparedness guide, like things to help you survive the zombie apocalypse. But it got
Yeah.
revamped recently. They republished it, made it like different. And there's like things in there that allude to, oh, you might not need to survive a zombie apocalypse, but to survive an earthquake, you'd want to have a day's worth of water or whatever, like stuff like that. But they're like combining them back and forth to kind of play on the fact of like, okay, you might need this in a zombie apocalypse, but you'd also need this if a tornado hit or things like that, right?
Yeah.
And this weird thing is going on is because it came out and was published like relatively close to when the vaccines started rolling out. And not to get all political, but it was really close to when those vaccines were coming out. And people were saying that they experienced zombie like sluggish, not wanting to do anything after taking those vaccines. So that's just what that made me think of, was when you said that they're making these things and they know about it. That almost sounds like the CDC knows, like, we're going to make people zombies. So here's how you survive the zombie apocalypse.
Well, CDC aside, and that'd be an interesting take, like maybe like a zombie, like sort of apocalypse and the fucking vaccine making us all zombies. But the catastrophic event I would think would probably be similar to like an asteroid. And I was like reading the thing. It said that he said that NASA and SpaceX and like space orgs that have seen this refuse to tell other people and are like forced to sign like NDAs because releasing this information would cause global chaos and it would be the destruction of the infrastructure of society as we know it. To know that you are hurtling towards your imminent doom in a few years or like a
So when
decade
is
or
this
however
supposed to
long.
happen?
They don't know. That's the thing. They just think that NASA found some shit and was like, fuck that. We need to go to Mars. Or SpaceX saw some shit, was like, fuck that. We need to go to Mars. If you have the money, come to Mars with us. Other than that, all you other people, you're dead. And that's why there's like a new a new
Hi.
space race happening to get to Mars. It's because these space companies are like, we're gonna fucking die if we don't.
I wonder how much it would cost to get like a seat to go there.
I looked this up one time. It's a few mil.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And it was like this private company that was doing it at one point. I don't even think it's
If you
SpaceX.
guys would like to support us, please check out our Patreon page.
We don't have a Patreon page yet. Do not listen to him. Yet. We might have clothes at some point. Some
Ooh,
shirts.
rock
That'd
a
be dope.
hoodie or a hat,
Oh, dude. Yeah, I would
or
love an ITC
fingerless
hat.
gloves with our logo on the side.
That's not that tasteful. I would like one that's like says ITC like right here, and it's like a circular badge.
Every stream I'd start, I'd go, welcome to ITC. Fingerless
I would.
gloves.
I'd promptly kick your ass. But yeah, that's that one, and that was a good segue from the one that we were just talking about. But that one to me is like freaky as fuck.
Yeah,
Like that
because you
scares the shit out of me.
never know when the government is being truthful, when the government is hiding things from you. You never know. It almost
Yeah,
brings it back to the first couple of argument or statements rather that we had of the government could know about aliens and they're telling us, but in a joke form, you know? The
yeah,
government knows a fuck ton more than what we think that they know. The government's not stupid. The government has played multiple roles in multiple different things that have happened, and then they act dumb about it. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Earth was going to end in 48 hours and they didn't tell people. Like, what was that one movie? 2012. The government
yeah.
knew that the world was ending and waited until what, like the day before or like the week before?
That that is another legitimate global like destruction thing that could be happening that like
The
NASA or
tectonic
some other people
plates.
have seen. Yeah, shifting and causing a super volcano to erupt in Yosemite. NASA could be
Mm-hmm.
like, and other scientists could be like, "We're telling you, let's get the fucking Mars because that would cause nuclear winter worldwide,
Oh yeah.
and and
And I'm not ready to
80% of
fight
the
any
United
death
States would be
claws.
destroyed."
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah, me neither. I don't even own a gun, so um,
Goddamn, you got any Nuka Cola?
but yeah, that was that one. Yeah,
I'm gonna say this. If we ever decided to like go a little bit like have an episode 2 of this and go a little bit deeper into kind of like the more NSFW like crazy tinfoil hats, the shit could get very, very interesting.
yeah, I think so. I would like to get
There's a lot of conspiracy theories that we wanted to do, but we're like, those are no goes just because of what they're about and what they involve. But dude, the government and all of this shit, it's crazy. I sound like a tinfoil right now.
I mean, we all got tinfoil tendencies. You know what I mean? Like, we all have some conspiracies that we have more. We feel more
Obama's an alien. This is a simulation.
okay. I mean, yeah.
That's
Um.
that's a good one.
Oh,
What do you? Huh?
That's a good one. Obama's alien. That's a good one.
No, the simulation one.
I actually have stuff written for that one. If you want me to get into that.
The simulation? Oh
Yes.
shit. Um, Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, what do you
So
want me to talk about my next point? Because I've got another one.
I just didn't know if you were ready
You
for
just
me
got
to
so
keep you.
offended because I wanted you to talk about your next point. Do you guys see how he treats me? I let him speak, and he really okay.
Well, I just didn't know if you wanted to speak more on
Pathetic.
yours.
No, go ahead.
You're right. All right.
Be my guest.
So, this would actually been my second one, but I skipped one because I tied my third one tied so well into that last one. But
I hate you.
simulation slash Mandela effect,
Ooh.
because the Mandela effect is like clues that we're living in a simulation. If you do not know what the Mandela effect is something. The term was coined when people thought Nelson Mandela passed away in prison. He didn't, and he was released.
And
So
he
people were
actually
like,
passed away in like 2012?
they held a huge ass funeral for him. Yeah, because he was
Which,
like a
to be
huge
fair,
peacemaker.
I I kind of remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison, not because I was there, because obviously I'm not old enough to remember him dying in the 80s, but I remember being taught that it was like a huge historical thing because he had gotten arrested and thrown in prison for like it was like speaking up against something, right? He was like an
Apartheid.
activist. Well, I guess that's just like one way to put it. Apartheid.
Isn't that what it was?
No, I thought he was like an
Nelson Mandela.
activist.
Yeah, in
Wait,
Africa,
what
right?
the fuck is apartheid then? Wait, am I stupid? Oh, that's separation. I don't know why I thought you meant like a coup d'etat. Like they overthrew
No.
him from the government. Anyways, I could have swore that they had it was like a big deal. Like everybody was freaking out about how he had died in prison because they'd captured him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy and misunderstanding it, but yeah, there's oh god, dude. I hate the Mandela effect because it fucks me like really hard.
Yeah. Well, it does, and I'm about to have it fuck you even more. So now that you know what the Mandela effect is, people thought one thing, and that wasn't true. Just like there's like the Berenstain Bears. People thought it was the Bernstein Bears, EIN, but it's AIN, right? And people are like, no, it's Stein, like EIN, and it's not. There's other examples, like for example, like Fruit Loops. How do you spell Fruit Loops?
Uh, FRUITLLOPS.
It's FROOTLOOPS. And if you remember it having a UI in it, it never has.
I did not know
There's a
that
lot
one.
of things.
So
Yeah.
there's one that I know of, and it gets me. This is so I don't know like a whole lot of Nelson Mandela of like Mandela effects. This one gets me because I'm a huge history person. The
Hmm.
the car that JFK was in when he got shot.
Yeah.
They're trying to say that there was 3 rows of seats in it, and I'm here to tell you that that's not true.
There's two.
There was two, but this reality says that there's three. Look up a picture of JFK's car, and there's gonna be a middle group of people sitting there. And the only reason why I know that there's fucking four seats, two in the front, two in the back, is because when the bullet hit JFK, it went. The first one had gone through his throat, and sorry, this is graphic, and it went out, and it hit the dude in the front seat, the passenger seat. It went in his like back, right?
Yeah.
So when JFK goes like this, he's like, bleeding out. It goes through his neck, through the front seat, and it hit the passenger driver, right? The passenger seat person, not the passenger driver, okay?
Yeah.
Then the second one, finished the job. If you look at it, there's a middle row, and it hits that dude in the middle row. That middle row was never a thing. It hit the passenger. Because when it hit the passenger, the driver looked over and was like, what the fuck? Like, he's been shot because, he's holding his stomach. It doesn't make sense for a driver to turn completely around and look at, you know what I mean? Look at, dude, I'm telling you, I know for a fact that car was like a normal, like, coupe or like a sedan. It had four fucking seats. And look it up. Are you looking it up?
There's 3 rows.
There's 3 rows.
What fucking car had 3 rows? There was a convertible. Not a Lincoln Town car, that's for sure. That's what the fuck is that?
I don't know. That shit's crazy. So did you hear the conspiracy that has to do with the Mandela effect, and it's like different realities like conversing into one?
That's exactly what I'm here to talk. Well, no, I wasn't going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about the alternate reality. But if you want to take a shot at that, be my guest. Yes.
Well, I was just gonna say that it's 2 separate realities colliding with each other. And so, we're from this reality, you're from that reality, where everything is the same except you remember it being, no, Luke, I am your father, instead of, no, I am your father. Those realities
Yes.
connect, and I have the past memories from the other one, which is why it sounds more familiar, even though I'm in a different reality. That's the whole thing, is that it's just multiple realities.
It's in a multiverse. Yeah, you're
Yes.
remembering stuff from a different universe because it exists in a different universe.
Correct.
Yeah, so not particularly what I'm trying to get into. What I was trying to fucking get into is it's okay. It's glitches in the simulation.
What the hell does
Okay.
that mean?
So misremembering and remembering things incorrectly is glitches in the simulation. So like you remember something one way and everyone else remembers something one way, but that's not the way. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. Let's fucking find it real quick. Okay. An example of that, a glitch in the simulation would be, okay, not only like the Mandela effect altogether in general, but an example of a glitch would be like, think about this. Have you, I think I've asked you this. Have you ever seen your neighbor taking groceries? Now really think about it.
Hold on. You like confused me for a second there. Sorry. You're talking about glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah, like the simulation. The Nelson Mandela
So
effect
we're
is
like
one of the biggest glitches in the fucking Matrix.
that this reality is like a simulation.
Yeah, and there's
Okay.
separate realities, obviously, but this is the reality we're living in, and it's a simulation.
Okay.
It's simulated. Okay.
Have I ever seen my neighbor take in groceries?
Yeah. Be honest with me. Have you ever seen anybody other than like a friend that you went to the grocery store with, other than yourself, other than somebody that you knew went and got groceries, bring in groceries? Have you ever seen anybody bring in groceries?
I don't think so.
Now, think about this. You work at Kroger right now.
Okay.
How many motherfuckers go through that place a day?
A lot.
How many Krogers are there in
A
Indiana?
lot.
How many Krogers in Indiana that are close together?
A lot.
A lot. And how often are those motherfuckers busy as fuck?
A lot.
How? How is everyone in the fucking world every single day getting groceries at the same time? You do not see one motherfucker bringing in groceries.
I don't think you're real because I don't think I've ever seen you bring in groceries.
Bitch, I brought groceries to your house.
But I've never watched you buy them.
No, I've been to your store when I was grocery shopping. But you've never ever like unless you're with that person or
Why have I not heard that one? That sounds like something that I would have like figured out.
yeah, and it's not just that. For example, I work at a truck wash, right? How many semis do you see on the road on average? Is it a shitload or is it just a fair amount?
I have like very rarely seen semis.
Very rarely. I see hundreds of fucking trucks a day. And they all want washes. How? How? Bro, how? I'll see a few trucks pass by my work and not come and get a wash, but 9 times out of fucking 10, they're coming in to get their shit washed. How in the world is everyone and their mom at the same time thinking, I'm getting fuzzy doing this. I want to get a wash. How? It's a simulation. Life, how you think it should be, okay? Fucking hello.
They're trying to censor you, bro. They got you fuzzy. They're trying to censor it.
Yeah, the simulation, bro. No, but like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've never seen like a neighbor bring in groceries. Dude, I don't even talk to my neighbors, honestly.
Here's a big one. Are you ready?
Okay.
You ever walk into like any store, department store, fucking mall, fucking any store that's not like a restaurant or like a fast food place? You ever walk in there and it be empty? No customers.
Okay, so let me say this. So there have been times at Kroger where I'm working and it stops and we're dead and there's like nobody in the store. But I've never went shopping and it's been empty.
This is what you expect. Right? Right? It's what you expect. You're like, I'm going to go to the store and there's going to be a line. You expect it. It's a simulation place towards that.
Like even when Kroger was 24/7 and me and Stefan lived with my mom, we'd go
You
into
go at
Kroger
3 in the
at 3
fucking
in the
morning and
they'd
there's
have
people there.
They'd have a line at one of the self-checkouts.
What? You can't think there's like 40 or 50 fucking people at 3 in the morning thinking, oh, I'm going to go get groceries. You can't think that. I love you. Thank you. But that one really toyed with me. Because, like, everyone thought one thing, and it, like, really fucked with people because everyone thought the same thing. Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And it wasn't true. Right? And so people are like, the fuck?
So you're saying the Mandela effect might actually just be a glitch in the Matrix?
Like a big ass one, like a massive one. Like they like updated a patch, and the patch was like, Curious George no longer has a tail, and people just didn't forget about that patch, right? Which, by the way, Curious George doesn't have a fucking tail.
What monkey doesn't have a tail?
Curious George.
Curious
And
George is a monkey, not an ape. Apes don't have tails. Yeah,
Curious
you
George
did,
is a
Kelsey.
monkey.
I was too busy.
Curious George is a monkey. He doesn't have a tail.
Yeah, that's weird. Also,
And he never has.
Why the fuck is the man in the yellow suit? Is he trying to attract George by looking like a banana? Come on. Unrealistic standards for men.
But there's like a shitload of them, you know?
So
No, I think it's just a patch.
That's crazy. I'd never thought about that before. You've got me stuck now trying to think if I've seen my fucking Neighbors bringing in. I've never seen anybody bring in groceries ever, unless it's been like a friend or like if you've been, that is sheesh.
And they're always busy. That's the thing that fucks with me.
Okay, so I've got another conspiracy for you. Do you
Mhm.
know what the firmament is?
I think you've told me, but refresh me, please.
So the firmament is essentially, it's not flat Earth. It's not to be confused with flat Earth. Flat Earth is the conspiracy that the Earth is pancake shaped
Yeah,
and we're
it's a
floating
disc.
in space, literally like this. Okay.
Yeah,
The firmament, if I'm understanding it correctly, take the Earth. That's a
you have an Earth. You're about to give us
well,
a.
it's a moon, but my Earth is all the way over there. Take this shape, right? We're gonna give it a color. Take this
Mhm,
shape
mhm.
and flip it inside out. Okay. So instead of us being on the outside crust, we're on the inside crust, right? And the
Yeah,
firmament, what it basically is, did that turn off? No, it didn't. What it basically is when you go, okay, have you seen the Hunger Games or that Simpsons movie where they've got the dome around them? It's essentially
yeah.
that. We've never gone to space. We've never, flown outside of Earth's atmosphere because there's a dome in the air. And if you break this dome, that's where the firmament is. And apparently, this firmament has been referenced in religious texts. Um,
Mhm.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's in religious texts, and what it is it's like this big ass ocean that's just a firmament of sea. And if you go past that, it's heaven, right? And so the conspiracy is rain is just leaks in the firmament. And the government has weather machines and they can make clouds, right? We don't need clouds for there to be rain. That's why sometimes it rains and it's clear outside. It's because they didn't produce those clouds in time. The government is making fake clouds, so when it's raining from the firmament, we say,
They can be
oh,
like, hey, it's cloudy.
yeah. So the other thing that has to do with this, and I'm not sure if they tie together, but I'm going to kind of tie them together because it's kind of the same thing. It's the fact that if you dig under the crust, there's apparently an ancient civilization that lives under the crust of our planet.
Yeah.
And there's actually a dude, and the only reason why I remember his name is because of Kelsey. His name was Admiral Byrd. And what he was is he was a soldier in the 1930s, 40s. It was a little bit before World War II, maybe during World War II. They're flying over the Antarctic and they're looking for Nazis. And he finds and this is all written on a journal that this dude had released. And the dude is dead. I think he either committed undeadify or unalive, or he was assassinated, killed in war, etc., etc. Anyways, in this dude's journal, he had documented they were digging through snow and they'd found a tunnel in Antarctica. And they figured that it was wide enough and big enough to be like a Nazi base. So they go
Yeah.
in there, snow clears. They see a sky. They think that they came up on a side of Antarctica where there was no snow. They came up fucking in North America. They don't know what they did. They come up out of this hole after going down. It's almost like they just kept going down, but they thought they might have went down and went back up. And it's a bright sky. It's like a jungle. There's like trees and plants everywhere. And there was advanced, not advanced in the sense of like robotics and electronics, but advanced in like, I guess, the structures that they might have had. An advanced civilization with wildlife and animals he had never seen before. Um, and I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, or people in the comments or on here can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was saying that it was Shangri La. Unless Shangri La is somewhere else, and it's like maybe it's like the Vietnam like paradise place or whatever. But regardless of whatever it was, he was in this under the crust place, and there was, and this was all documented on this dude's fucking journal. That's
Hmm.
crazy to me. And have you ever
Yeah,
heard
there was like,
rumblings underneath your feet and you're like, what the fuck is that? Or have you ever heard like loud bangs and cracks in the sky and you're like, what the fuck is that? Dude, it might be the people under the ground. Maybe,
I
just
mean,
maybe.
when the people
Why do
under
you
the
have to
ground,
dig with permission, you know? Why do you need permission to dig?
I can tell you why.
No, I'm not asking why. I know why, but I'm just trying to help the cause for this thing.
It's it's far fetched, but what's funny though is like Antarctica thing. The Google Maps, if you look at like the satellite images, that part of
Yeah.
Antarctica was blacked out.
And if you want to get even further on this conspiracy theory while I eat some cookies, why is every single flight path that goes even close to Antarctica, there's like a circle part where no plane goes through. So if you need to go through it, like if my head is the Antarctica place, they literally go at an angle. They go at angles. They never go, and they don't just fly straight across. They're always like, oh, we need to go here. Oh, we have to refuel here so we can go up here. Well, technically, you're going the same amount of distance if you would have just went straight, so why don't you? Literally, it blows my mind. Admiral Byrd, I salute you, sir, for finding fucking Agartha, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really that one is has a lot of like fucking lore and shit to it
Mm-hmm.
because I remember reading about like things about that, like the flight pass and stuff like that. The biggest one that I remember was just like, why is Google Satellite blacking out this section of Antarctica?
Yeah.
And then they have like a shitload of like research teams down there that are like there like year round,
And think
and they're
about the
like
stuff
doing.
that Hitler believed in, right? These,
Mhm.
I saw a picture because I didn't know this until I started researching this stuff. If you look up, I don't, I don't want to say the wrong thing. If you look up like not Nazi monuments, but like something that has to like Nazi structures or something like that, they had
Mhm.
like stone carvings of huge like majestic looking people that looked alien. And Hitler believed in this like I keep wanting to call it Agartha. I think that's what
I
it's
think that's
called.
not. I think yeah, Shangri La doesn't sound right.
Hitler believed in this place. He literally believed that there was a place under the earth. And now granted the dude was a fucking psychopath,
Yeah,
but I mean, come on, man. Like maybe there is something under there, you know?
yeah. Hmm.
That's a crazy one too. That's a crazy crazy one.
What? Oh no. Can you give him Advil?
Okay, I'll tell
Okay.
you guys another joke while Marcus is talking to Kelsey. So,
Sorry.
a man walks into a bar and he goes, "Ouch."
Wow.
That was the same one
Sorry.
I told earlier.
Oh, she was just telling me that Atticus's fever was 103. Yeah. Little poor little guy's got the flu.
F's in the
But
chat for Atticus.
anybody in there? I got you, bro. Um. Yeah. Shit, I had to pull up. What was your that's your second one, right?
Yeah, so my whole thing with the firmament, I normally wouldn't have like given this one a thought just because of how far-fetched it is. But the fact that there's religious texts that reference this firmament ocean,
Hmm.
that just seems weird to me, you know? And the fact that like cuz I might be mixing the firmament and the fucking Antarctica one up together. I think the firmament, the whole thing about it is like there's that glass dome that's above us, but it's like in space too. So like space is a dome. And so we have all of our stars and all of our planets and all that stuff, but they're actually a lot smaller than what we think. So you look up and you
Hmm.
see Mars, and it's like you can see Mars like really small in the sky, right? That's because it's actually not that far away. It's like touching the glass of the firmament, if that makes sense. It might be like, I don't know how big it would have to be and how high up, but like that's the whole. I don't know. It's just weird that it's in religious text because a
Yeah.
lot of people hold religious texts to be like more truthful than others. And so the fact that you've got a religious text talking about an ocean in the sky, like, come on. What? That shit cray. That shit cray.
Craig. Craig. Um, are you cool with talking about the NWO?
Yeah. My whole thing about not wanting to talk about, the Monsters Inc. thing that I was telling you about.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah.
that's not like really in relation.
What do you mean?
The NWO and
No, I'm saying, yeah, what I was saying is like, I don't want to cover things like, yeah, we're good to talk about the Illuminati and the New World Order.
okay, cool. I don't have a lot written, but I know you know a fuckload about the Illuminati
What makes you think that?
because you and Jeremy were obsessed with it back in the day. I wasn't so much obsessed. Um, all I know really about it is that popular media and celebrities are in a secret society that may or may not contain lizard people and the path to immortality, and they also might be dealing with the mark of the beast.
Let me tell you something real fast about the Illuminati that I don't think you know. There
Yeah.
is a cult, and it's something. It's I think it's like the passage of Bohemia. It has something to do with Bohemia, right? Have you heard
Yeah.
of this? You should
Yes, I
look it
have.
up when you get a second. It's a cult where these people, and they're all famous people, they meet up in the woods at this grove,
I
Bohemian
do know what you're
Grove,
talking about.
Bohemian Grove,
Yes. Yes,
and
and only certain like aristocrats are allowed there.
yes, and there is video footage of Bush, Daddy Bush, Obama, um, a couple of other people I can't really think of off the top of my head, but there's footage of like pictures taken of them there. Now, granted, people have made comments about it and said like, "Oh, it's just like a big party. It's like a big party where like all drugs are legal. It's just like the one day of the week that they can just go and fucking do whatever they want." But it might be a little bit darker. Might be a little bit darker than that. There's a lot of crazy stuff, and people are saying that that's the headquarter of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
The Illuminati members go to Bohemian Grove, I think that's what it's called, and not good stuff happens there.
Ritualistic bullshit, I'm assuming.
Yes. Stuff that I'm not going to say live on Twitch, but bad things happen there.
Yeah. Now, how about the Freemasons?
So,
Because I see a lot of people that are like not wealthy, but they're like upper class,
yeah.
and they have like Freemason things like on their cars or like on their license plates. Like,
What scares me about Freemasons is my grandma, before she died, um, she had a boyfriend for like less, maybe a year, and he was
mhm.
a mace. He was like a Freemason, and he was explaining about how it was like a a grown-ups like Boy Scouts club. You go there, you learn, you graduate, you become a certain rank. I was like, okay, that's a little weird that they give you like ranks and stuff, but like, I don't know,
Yeah.
people were into that stuff back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
Well, in his house, I don't know if I told you about this, but he was the dude that had like the double house. Like he had two kitchens in his house. One was upstairs, one was downstairs. And maybe I didn't tell you about this. But when you went downstairs, there was like a kitchen, couple of bedrooms, bathrooms. It was basically two houses in one, but they were connected.
Yeah.
And on the bottom section of the house, he had this big library. Like, and I know old people read books, right? I'm not trying to be ageist against old people for liking books and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I got the vibe because they were all upstairs talking, and it was me and my brother that was down there because, you know, he was hanging out with my grandma and my mom. I had the vibe that, like, if I pulled a book a certain way off of one of those bookshelves, there's gonna be a secret fucking lair. It was giving me the chills, me and Cody. And you can ask Cody about this. But he also had a painting in his living room.
Yeah.
Dog, tell me why when you moved the paint wasn't covered all the way. It was like somebody was just too lazy and just painted around the painting. Who does that? Ask him about it. Ask Cody about it. It was the craziest thing. Dude's got
He's
the
a Freemason,
entire
bro.
fucking encyclopedia of human history down in his basement. I don't know. Freemasons are weird. Don't they have something to do with the Illuminati too? Don't you have to be a
That's what I
Freemason to
thought.
join the Illuminati, I think?
I guess so. Yeah.
It honestly is just like the whole religion thing. It reminds me of like a cult, right? It reminds me, not saying religion is a cult, but it's like you follow something and you believe in it, and like you're not stuck there, but it just gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. Just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't want
Oh yeah.
nothing to do with Freemasonry. It's like a school. I don't know.
Yeah. The Freemasons and the Illuminati both wig me out because like they're both based in truth, right?
Yeah.
Because like the Illuminati existed and the Freemasons obviously exist, but like their nefarious, I guess, doings, it's up for debate.
Sure. Because weren't
But
they a
there's like
thing during the
evidence.
first presidents? Like the first couple of presidents, they were Illuminati members because the Illuminati was actually like a secret
Yeah, yeah,
government
yeah, yeah.
organization or
It was
something like that.
yeah, and it was trying to like help the
I couldn't
I
tell
lost
you.
my train of thought.
I don't know. I know that the Illuminati hasn't always been bad, but it's been around for a long time. My question is, why do these rappers joke about being in the Illuminati? Like, sure, it's kind of like a cultural reference thing, like pop reference. But why do
I mean, they could know
so
people in the
many
Illuminati.
of them? Like, you've got Jay-Z, French Montana, Eminem,
Kanye.
Kanye. You've
Yeah.
got even like the new MGK video. I don't know if you saw the MGK video with Valkyrie in it. She's like pretending to be Corpse since nobody knows who Corpse, like what he looks like.
Oh, with Corpse's new song
And
and
her
Enrique's new
eye
song.
is red and she's like doing one of these things. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. You're not going to tell me that people are acting like the Illuminati is a thing for over 20, 30 years. That's not a
Mhm.
thing that happens. There's got to be some truth behind that. I mean, even in some of the lyrics of the songs that people write, you know, sold my soul, had to catch a body for a new body, things like that.
Yeah.
Man, even Beyonce was like singing a song about how she felt this power go inside of her. No, it wasn't a song actually. It was a performance. She was
Yeah.
nervous before a performance and she had did something. We don't know what it was that she did. And she felt this power take over her. And it was like one of her best performances ever. Like, man, that's some Illuminati shit right there.
That's the devil.
That's the devil.
Yeah.
Hoodia
I mean,
invited you to play Dead by Daylight. I am on a podcast right now.
we are.
Do you think how kind of what I said before about how people kind of like make the jokes to like throw everybody off and like present fake evidence? Like you see videos of like CGI'd UFOs just to like disprove all the other like true footages. Do you think the government almost doesn't, or almost rather makes these subtle things, and movie makers make these subtle things just to kind of be like throwing us off? Like what was that one movie that fucking Nicolas Cage was a part of? National Treasure,
National Treasure with
National
Nicolas Cage.
Treasure, and it was about the Illuminati and the treasure and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Somebody that would make a movie like that, like if there was truly secrets like that, they would get in trouble. They would get killed because of the stuff that they're showcasing to us. But if they perform it in the sense of a movie or satire, they're giving us the information, but nobody's going to believe it. Do you think that they're kind of doing that, like with the majority of these conspiracies? Do you think a majority of these conspiracies, they're just kind of like, yeah, let them think what they want, because then some, nobody's going to believe it if so-and-so talks about it, or if so-and-so makes a movie about it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I mean, so what you're getting at is like Kanye West and like Jay-Z like rapping about like the Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, oh yeah, no one's gonna give them time of the day about that. No worries, we're
Even though
not in
they're
any
being
sort of
truthful,
danger.
they are storytellers. They talk about their lives. Jay-Z raps
Yeah,
about his life. Kanye raps about his
yeah,
life. When Kanye's sitting there screaming about the Illuminati, and then on another song talking about Jesus walks, this dude's a true Christian. Like, he loves Jesus. And the
yeah,
other song, he's talking about the Illuminati. But when people listen to that, they're like, oh, he's Kanye crazy,
yeah. Uh, I think it's just, I don't know. It's dependent upon,
Your
I guess, if he's just
interpretation.
actually your interpretation of the music, or if he's telling the truth, or if he's just a loon. Because some things that Kanye does say makes me think he's Kanye crazy. You know what
And
I mean?
and that's kind of a conspiracy on its own. I love Kanye to the point where I think this dude's a genius, right? And I know this isn't really a conspiracy, but this man is such a genius. He, man, he is the type of person to, I don't even know how to explain it. He sounds crazy because of all the thoughts that he has going on in his head. He
He's got like
is,
ADHD.
yeah, exactly. Like when we lose our train of thoughts. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about, him and Joe Rogan were talking about stuff and things, Coral. And um he's talking about how Kanye is a musician, he's a producer, he's made movies, he's shot films, he makes shoes and
Yeah.
clothing. He does all of this stuff. He's getting into architecture. So when Kanye sits here and he rambles on about something, and then oh da 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 da, oh da 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 da, that's just his brain moving at like a million miles per hour. This dude is like smarter than what you think.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't discredit Kanye's intelligence. I do think that sometimes he may be sipping on the Kool-Aid a little too much, but
Maybe.
you know, other than that, yeah, Kanye is super fucking smart. I mean, smart enough to be like wealthy as fuck.
True, true,
So,
true. Um, so here's a conspiracy for you. Did you know that birds don't exist?
what I just eat for dinner?
Um,
Sorry.
we're so dumb.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry you guys
The
have to deal
birds
with
work for the
us.
bourgeoisie.
So what's funny is I've seen a picture that was supposed to hopefully have been satire about birds being fake. And it was the fact that it was like, have you ever seen a bird like like
I've never seen a baby pigeon.
no, I've never seen a baby pigeon. But you know how birds sit on the telephone wires?
Yeah.
If humans touch those, what do? We get electrocuted.
Yeah.
What does electricity do? It charges things. Telephone poles and electrical poles are birds'
Charging the
charging
birds.
stations.
No.
Why do they
If
all
I
have to
shot one of
fly
those,
south? Because cold temperatures freeze up electronics. Go throw your phone out in the snow. It'll lock up. I promise you. Go stick your phone in the freezer. I promise you it'll lock up. That's why all the birds fly south.
I mean,
Why can't
all your
birds eat gum? Because when they swallow it, it gets stuck in all their gears. Their gears stop turning.
thank you.
This is the truth, yes?
Personally, uh, I don't. I don't know. Truth is whatever you interpret it as. If you want to think that birds work for the bourgeoisie or however the fuck you say their name, be my guest. If you want to think that they're just drones flying around, I think pigeons are real. Pigeons don't exist. Like I said, have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Did you know that when ducks are swimming in the water, they're not actually swimming? They're standing. That's how long their
Oh,
legs are.
oh my god. We're just memeing at this point.
Yes. So another like
Yeah.
funny conspiracy that I saw that has to do with like the moon, and I don't want to say that I believed it, but it kind of like caught me by surprise, and I looked it up a little bit.
Fake
Was the
moon, fake
fact,
moon.
yeah, it was the fake moon, and it's the fact that it was like somebody said that it was holographic, right?
Yeah, holographic moon.
And I was
Yeah.
watching these videos of the moon, and it was kind of like shimmering, and I was like, whoa, it's kind of like TV static, right? But
It's
then I was sitting there
holographic.
thinking, and it was maybe for like 10 minutes that I'm like, man, the moon might be fake. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute. That's the ripple of the camera like focusing on the moon. Like the
Oh,
fucking camera is focusing and unfocusing on the moon, so it's giving it like a little ripple effect. And I'm like, who
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
how do you
Oh,
feel about you said something about it earlier about the mark of the beast, right?
yeah.
And Elon Musk is wanting to do this Neuralink thing. I don't know how I feel about Neuralink because Neuralink could be considered the mark of the beast, right? They're
No.
already they're already excuse me, talking about like getting your debit card implanted in your hand, cell phone, all of this stuff electronically implanted in you, tracking devices. I mean, you're technically we're all addicted to phones, right? So we've already got devices implanted in
That's what
us
I
that can do that stuff.
that's what I tell people. Like, this is our tracking device, right? If they wanted to have a mark of the like you make payments with this. This is more of a mark of a beast than any like vaccine they're gonna fucking give you. You know how like unreliable that would be?
And somebody who's like a hardcore Christian, and excuse me for my ignorance because I don't like delve too deeply into like biblical things. Somebody was telling me that it's close to the end time when we lose the value of currency or we don't have physical currency. Apparently, that's like a thing somewhere along the lines of like if we don't have currency, our society will fall. Well, dude, everything's
Yeah.
going digital. Like you don't need money. You've got a credit card, debit card. You've got your phone. You don't have to physically have the money, the gold, you know, nothing. So
In some cases, hold pause for a second. In some cases, I just thought of this. This can be your phone, your internet browser, your card, and your car keys.
yeah,
If you had a fucking Tesla, this is your car keys. This is everything. All you have to carry is a phone.
And now imagine
Sorry.
having all of that in your wrist.
Your phone?
Just everything. Just talking to somebody. Hello? Hi, Marcus. How's it going?
Oh, like
Oh, I
Neuralink.
want to
Okay,
show you this
yeah,
picture real fast. Screenshot with my eyes. Drinking a fucking McDonald's Sprite and you take a screenshot.
yeah. Yeah.
I
Basically.
I think Neuralink would be kind of. I know we're memeing a lot. Neuralink is kind of like the mark of the beast if you think about it, right? Because sure, Elon Musk's intentions with Neuralink is to help people with brain functions and muscle functions that won't operate, but you know that it's eventually going to become, hey, this person's about to die. We can upload him on a fucking USB stick, stick it up a fucking computer, and now this dude's a walking, talking PS4, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially, but the mark of the beast is more of just like the way it's been described to me. It's essentially saying like, hey, hell on earth is happening. If you want food, sustenance, anything like that, you have to branch the mark of the beast. If you have the mark of the beast, you can never be saved, right?
so hold on.
So if you accept,
What is the conspiracy theory exactly? Because I the only thing I know about the Mark of the Beast is from like Supernatural, right? So the actual thing about the Mark of the Beast is like you won't be able to survive unless you sell your soul to Satan.
that's essentially it. Yeah, when you get the mark of the beast, your soul has been sold, and you could never be saved.
But you'll have access to food, money, etc., right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like, people are saying that like the vaccine is the mark of the beast because they said that it's gonna have like a chip in it, and they're injecting you with the mark of the beast. And I'm like,
That kind of makes me think. So I know I've talked about Immortal Zen a couple of times today. So Immortal Zen has a really good like small series on his TikTok about words
yeah,
and how you spell to create words, right?
yeah,
Spelling spells like magical incantations. And what he's saying is words are magic. What you speak into reality will happen, which is true. If you say that you're going to have a bad day, you're probably going to have a shitty day. If you say you're going to have a good day, you're going to probably have a good day. He's saying that entertainment, I think was the word. Enter meaning go into, tame coming from tame, like you're gonna tame the beast, and then meant meaning like empty or something like that. So when we watch TV, we're getting entertainment, but entertainment is entering us, taming us, and emptying us. Something along those lines. That might not be like quoted exactly what he was saying, but it was something like that, right? And he was saying that when you speak words into existence, you're actually using spells. It was like a weird, I mean, it's weird, but it makes sense, right?
mm-hmm,
It makes kind of sense because when you watch entertainment things, YouTube, play video games, what are you doing? You're being lazy. You're not being active. You're not being productive. It makes sense. It's entering your body, cleansing it, and holding on to you. People are addicted to TV. People are addicted to video games. It's a fucking
yeah.
spell.
Think of it this way for a second. So spelling, right? Spell. If I say something, I can throw an image in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of it like in the sense of magic, I'm like, that's the spell. So if I say like floppy cock, what you thinking about? Exactly. The image pops in your head. So I guess like, I don't know. It seems tough to believe, but I get it.
So a couple of the things that he talks about is like a little kind of far fetched, but I would
Hmm.
recommend anybody right now that's watching this that enjoys conspiracy theories go check out Immortal Zen on TikTok. What is that? What are you doing?
No, continue what you're saying. I'm sorry.
he is a great person. He's open. He's an awesome person. You can tell he.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sitting there chilling, bro, looking at the camera, wait for you to finish your spiel.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to say, my friend? All right. Well, guys, this was the last episode of our podcast. Me and Marcus are no longer friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Idiots Talking Candidly. We are live every other Thursday, except for today, at twitch.tv/Idiots Talking Candidly. You can follow us on Twitter at Candid Idiots. And you will probably be watching this video on YouTube at our channel, Idiots Talking Candidly Podcast. I am
Yes,
Dallas.
sir.
That
And I am
is
Marcus.
Marcus. Everybody right now say in the chat, I hate Varg. Varg sucks. With that being said, you guys have a blessed night. Thank you for being patient with us, having this podcast being on an extra day ahead. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye.
Bye.